Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to the group. I firstly got to thanks Brother Victor have actually invited me to this group. And as the title say, Autophagy for everyone. And today, actually, the topic is actually related to this topic. And I was thinking what the method actually to share with everyone. And at first I was thinking actually to use text, and then I realized that actually it takes a lot of time. And usually I've shared in public. I've been for the last few days, actually last 3 days, in fact, since Friday until just now when I came back from the seminar. I was talking to many actually my followers actually regarding the methods actually that I've been using it for the past 3 days, 3 years. Um, I was very lucky, in fact, when I'm not a medical doctor, um, and able to actually find out and do a lot of research on this autophagy works, and I implement it carefully, and it have actually benefited me so much. And beginning of 2022, I think Brother Victor notices that when we met, and he realized that I've changed so much physically, and my energy strength, and the way um, my my physical body and my mental health have improved so much. All right. And Brother Victor actually also um, sometimes he was actually trying to use the same method, and I think everybody notices that Brother Victor's actually also benefited from the process. And that's the reason why he invited everyone uh, to join in this group, and hopefully that I got time to share with everyone. So I was taught actually um, to tell actually why I come to this stage, because in 2021, after the MCO, during the MCO, I should say, I stay at home and cook myself, eating without knowing the timing. I think it can be breakfast, it can be lunch, it can be dinner, it can be high tea. Okay, it can be supper even, I think. And the age of me during that time was already 60. And I think I was lucky that I'm still healthy enough to be able to consume all the food. By the time of May 2021, 2020, and I find actually my body have um, getting weaker, and I always go to toilet during midnight many times, so often. And the first open up for the first MCO, I decided to do a medical checkup, and unfortunately, I got all the metabolism syndrome, as everybody known of. And what it means actually is that I got the high blood pressure, 180, 110, and doctor said it's not high because you are having second stage of hypertension. My diabetes, actually, my sugar level was actually is about 18.5, and doctor say it's not high, and you are diabetes. So it was a joke, I think. And my doctor had been very humor about the whole issue. And I also found out the reason why I go to toilet so often at night, because of my prostate enlargement. And doctors saying that I was lucky. What do you mean by I'm lucky? You say in Malaysia, most Malaysian male after 50% of the people, male, will have actually prostate enlargement. And I only have it of the age of 60. So he said, you are lucky. Wow. I don't think it's a joke, because after the medical checkup, and he did not give me a prescription. I hope that he gave me a prescription. He did not give me a prescription. He gave me a subscription. I hope that everybody knows what's the difference between prescription and subscription. And the subscription means that I will consume it for life. And typically, I'm a scientist myself, even I'm not a medical doctor. I like to do research on the medical books because I believe doctors actually only know and diagnose and give the medicine, proper medicine. That's, I'm not blaming him. But then, since I'm sitting back at home, I got a lot of time to do my research on the paper. Then I'm fortunate, actually. I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed, and got the time to find out. And this Japanese doctor, who actually got a Nobel Prize for the term that autophagy, that he have done so much of research on animals and humans. So let me share with you a video to explain to you what is called autophagy in the first place. All right. Sorry, I think I will stop it first. Share my.
How many of you have heard of autophagy before? So it has a Greek origin. So auto means self and phagy means to eat. So the literal meaning of autophagy is self-eating. So here we have a gentleman named Kevin who's starving. Well, did you know that the body has the ability to eat itself? This is called autophagy, when your body uses itself as fuel, allowing it to clean up all the junk. Autophagy is an incredibly critical process for your cells because this is how your body clears out cellular garbage, food particles, viruses, bacteria, inflammatory molecules, and even cancer cells. So autophagy is self-eating at a cellular level. So each of our cells has a healing power, and autophagy turns on the healing power of each cell in your body. So it activates them to start repairing themselves. If we look at a cell under an electron microscope, we could see that autophagy happens in the part of the cell called the lysosome. So lysosomes contain about 50 different enzymes that help to break down proteins, DNA, RNA, polysaccharides, as well as lipids. So autophagy is how your cells clean up cellular garbage. So anything that's considered garbage will merge with a lysosome, creating an autophagosome, and this is where the breakdown and recycling takes place. So autophagy is the process of removing, recycling, and regenerating at a cellular level. Dr. Yoshinori Oshumi is a Japanese cell biologist and professor at Tokyo Institute of Technology who won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 2016 for his breakthrough discoveries on the mechanisms of autophagy. So the big question is, do we have to eat all the time? So some people are under the impression that skipping meals is bad, and others have been told that they should eat 6 small meals a day. So there's a lot of confusion on how much we should eat and how often we should eat. So the truth is that many of us are in desperate need for autophagy. If autophagy is not happening properly in your cells, they get cluttered up with garbage, kind of like this dirty room which is cluttered with clothes and objects everywhere. This can lead to symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, bloating, skin blemishes. It can also cause internal issues like fatty liver, insulin resistance, as well as inflammation in your body. So autophagy is like activating the cleanup crew of your cells. It can turn a messy room into a clean room. Don't you feel better when you're in a clean environment? Similarly, when your cells are clean, you feel more energy. You'll have less symptoms of inflammation. You'll lose weight. You'll have better mental sharpness. Your skin will be glowing, and you'll even live longer. So autophagy is crucial to the health of our organs. For example, our liver is one of our biggest detox organs, and it's also where we store a lot of our toxins. Autophagy allows your liver cells to do a better job of converting fat-soluble toxins to water-soluble, so you can excrete them through your bile and urine. Next, we have our heart. So our cardiomyocytes or heart cells lose their ability to divide soon after we're born. That's why a heart attack can be fatal. So autophagy is really important for the remodeling and repairing of our heart cells. In our brain, autophagy has a crucial neuroprotective effect, helping to improve the health of our brain cells called neurons. Finally, autophagy can help heal inflammation throughout your GI tract. Whether you're suffering from IBS, bloating, SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or leaky gut, which is abnormal intestinal permeability, autophagy can help heal all of these conditions. Inside your cells, autophagy cleans up your mitochondria. Autophagy allows your mitochondria to clean up all the reactive oxygen species and free radicals, making them more efficient at generating energy. Another amazing effect of autophagy is it shuts down insulin. Insulin resistance is a growing problem in this country, and it's the physiology that can lead to diabetes. People with insulin resistance have higher levels of fasting insulin because their body's receptors are tuning it out. The problem is insulin triggers a vicious cycle of hunger, fat storage, weight gain, and inflammation. So the great news is that autophagy is fantastic for insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Sluggish autophagy is thought to be associated with most chronic diseases, such as heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver, cancers, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, autoimmune diseases, mood disorders, skin diseases, chronic infections, as well as accelerated aging.
So that will be a very basic explanation about autophagy. It is not very technical, easy to understand. But the second part, actually, then people may ask, actually, I do a lot of exercise. I do myself before MCO. And I was thinking that exercise actually will be the only way to gain help. And that's not all about it. So I will give you a next explanation between doing exercise versus actually autophagy. So this will be a second part of video I would like to show you, and hopefully that they'll give you enlightening understanding about what this all about. Okay, let me share this one. Yes.
Now that we know how important autophagy is for your cells, let me introduce you to the opposite of autophagy, which is something controlled by mTOR. mTOR stands for mammalian target of rapamycin. It's an enzyme controlled by a gene, which is the master controller of protein synthesis in your body. So if you lift weights and eat protein in your diet, mTOR helps you to build muscle and new cells. Dr. Oshumi said, life is an equilibrium state between synthesis and degradation of proteins. So it's important to have an optimal amount of mTOR activation to stimulate muscle growth. Not enough mTOR activation will lead to muscle wasting, also known as sarcopenia. This is why weight training is so important as you get older. On the flip side, too much mTOR activation could lead to cancers as well as accelerated aging. So mTOR and autophagy are completely opposite processes. They cannot occur at the same time, so they're kind of like day and night. So mTOR is an anabolic state, meaning it's a time of building muscle and cell growth, versus autophagy, which is a catabolic state, meaning it's a time of cell cleanup and repair. So for optimal health, we need to maintain a good balance between mTOR and autophagy. For example, if you lift weights, it's good to give yourself a rest day or rotate your muscle groups so that your cells get a chance to repair and recover.
So that explains about necessity of doing exercise, but we are not supposed to overdoing it. Moderate exercise or other methods that I will introduce subsequently, which is very beneficial. And then people will ask actually, how can we activate autophagy? In fact, autophagy actually is part of our life, except that when we were young, our autophagy actually taken place to clean up most of our dead cells, mutated cell, and bad inflamed cell. And they are able to clean it, but as we age and our hormones, our growth hormones have been reducing. There's another hormone, but I'm not going to talk about it in detail. Our growth hormone degrading since we are the age of 21. And this will actually slow down our autophagy stage. So we will have a lot of this accumulated bad cell. So take example of a person which is 60, and the growth hormone is just about 25%, 20 to 25% of the growth hormone of when he was about 21. So this will be a very natural of aging. And our bad cell actually accumulated. Chances of us actually getting cancer when we are so commonly actually nowadays. So actually when you have this autophagy actually will trigger to clean up most of your bad cell. So then the question actually is, how can we trigger or activate autophagy as we wish, rather than to wait for this autophagy stage in our system, which is slowing down, and then most of the time that we got a so-called cancer marker. So when the cancer marker hit until 8,000, I think that you probably that you did not know actually your terminal, your inflammations already exist in your body. You're in a danger stage of getting cancer. So we need to get this cancer marker lower. In order to get this marker lower, then we need to trigger autophagy to utilize to convert our bad cell, all right, mutated cell into energy form, and indirectly is just to clean up our room. So I will share with you another video that how should we actually do that. Let me share the other screen. Sorry.
Now that we know how important autophagy is,
Oh, I think I shared the wrong one. Okay. A moment, please. Okay.
So by now you're probably wondering, what's the best way to activate autophagy? So the answer is simple. Fasting activates autophagy. When there's no fuel coming in, this allows your body to focus on autophagy, and that's why a lot of people feel so much better when they're fasting. I've always put a lot of emphasis on eating healthy, like eating 5 colors a day to get your antioxidants, eating good fats, and eating a lot of fiber. But today I'm going to emphasize the benefits of not eating. So what's fascinating is they've done studies on monkeys as well as mice, and when they're given a calorie-restricted diet or less food, they actually end up living longer. This is thought to be related to the increase in autophagy that results from calorie restriction. Sleep is another great way to activate autophagy. So while you're sleeping, your cells are actually recovering and repairing themselves. It's like activating the youth inside your cells. That's why having a healthy circadian rhythm is so important for your health. So now you're probably wondering, what's the best way to fast? There's many different forms of fasting, and depending on the length of your fast, you'll be activating autophagy to varying levels. If you're new to fasting, start with intermittent fasting. This is a popular option because you're basically just skipping one meal. Start by having 12 hours between your dinner and breakfast, and then gradually increase the interval to 14 hours, then 16 hours, and ultimately 18 hours, which is where you have your dinner at 6 p.m. and have lunch the next day at 12 noon. Some people are able to do 24-hour fasts, where they'll eat their dinner and they won't eat anything until dinner time the following day. Some people are up for the challenge of a 3 to 5 day fast. This can really activate autophagy, and I'm going to give you some tips that can help you if you're thinking about an extended fast. The first tip is to stabilize your blood sugar before you begin your fast. Adding more good fats to your diet can help you stabilize your blood sugar, such as avocados, nuts, and olive oil. During your fast, in place of breakfast, you can have a cup of bulletproof coffee blended with 1 teaspoon of MCT oil. There was actually a study published in 2014 showing that coffee, both regular and decaffeinated varieties, increase autophagy in mice. Make sure you don't add cream, butter, or collagen protein to your coffee because these will inhibit autophagy. If you don't like coffee, you can drink organic green tea or bergamot tea, which is Earl Grey. Hydration and electrolytes can make a big difference in your energy during the fast. An easy way to make electrolyte water is to add some lemon as well as a pinch of Himalayan salt. For extended fasts, you can drink broth. You can also use store-bought electrolyte powders, but make sure they have no added sugars or artificial sugars other than stevia. So here's the great news. Fasting is free. It's easy on your wallet. Some would say it's actually cheaper than free because you're also saving money on food as well as the time you would use preparing.
So just now actually the video was saying very clearly, fasting will trigger autophagy, but it does not look so easy as the video say. 90% of people who actually going through fasting process fail. I have done a study on step-by-step method. I think there's a lot of consultant nutritionists actually will encourage people go for fasting by charging them certain fees for a certain period or certain success. When I gone through the process, when I do this study, then I realized that since just now the last part of the video say fasting is free, or maybe even you even save more money for not taking so much of food, that is perfectly correct. Like me, actually, I can go without meal for 3 days. I can have actually a meal a day. which when you have a meal a day, you don't consume so much. So you save a lot of money. In my program, I even do personal coaching with people. I do not actually charge a service. I think it is my way of my life to share things to people. And I would like to share actually my knowledge, the way the successful of me have reversed the sicknesses that I have. Actually, I reversed my diabetes, I reversed my hypertension, I actually reversed prostate enlargement, all totally. So I think that is a good news for me. And I think that is also good news for everyone. And the way I've gone through with it, I think I would like to share with everyone. And hopefully that if you think that you want to live a healthy life, not just healthy life, we just to know when and where we will not be here, not be around, but we will prefer to live until last day of our life still actively, healthily. And that's the best thing I should say. And the last thing, maybe this will help you to have a longevity of your life. And if you believe what I've said so far, you can do further research if you want to. Go to internet and find out a lot of this information. But of course, the most important one is a method that in our country, the food that we have, how can we successfully activate this autophagy? And at the end of days, we still can do, my age actually of 62 today, able to do a muscle mass rebuild. So this is amazing. And that's what Dr. Victor said I should have shared with every one of you. So thank you so much. Today video up to here to now. I think it's actually taking about, I think maybe more than 30 minutes. I think that's good enough for a short video. Hopefully that allow you to get some knowledge of what it's all about for the health. And I agree with Victor that I will continue maybe making up second video or third video. I always want to make a YouTube video, but I just don't have time because most of the time actually I'm seeing a lot of my friend talking about it, discuss about it, and they see their progress. I'm very happy with their progress, and this is what I do. And hopefully to see you in the next video or see you personally, or I can have set up a Zoom meeting with all of you who have actually direct questions. Actually, you can have prepared some questions. Actually, if you want to ask, you can actually ask me online. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next then. Good night.